What's up, everybody? Ghost Girl 007 here. Today's video is going to be a haunted reads. Right now we are reading I Am Haunted, Living the Life Through the Dead by Zach Bagans. This is the book we're reading right now. This is the back of it. Right now we're on chapter 21. It's a page 167. The chapter is called April 5th. It's a special day. Here's a sad and weird little fact. My two favorite singers died on my birthday. Kurt Cobain of Nirvana and Lane Stanley of Alice in Chains both died on April 5th. I always listened to them growing up, while they were still alive, and no one had any idea that they would end their own lives on my birthday. It's a strange coincidence, but still, when I am having a bad day and my mind is a mess, I turn to them, no matter what day it is, what time it is, or how bad of a mood I'm in. I'll listen to two Pacific songs to pull me out of a funk. Where Did You Sleep Last Night by Nirvana, I think I'm saying it right, and Nutshell by Alice in Chains. These songs have so much soul, you can just tell that these two lead singers had so many demons, so much noise in them. These guys were born with unimaginable talent, but when they sing these softer songs, you can connect to the pain and darkness that each of them harbored inside. It was almost as if you could have predicted their deaths. There's another song by Johnny Cash called Ain't No Grave that I listened to a lot. When I made my album Near Confusion, we recorded a song called Dead Awaiting that seems to connect with all three of them. Dead Awaiting is about the dark thoughts we all have about death and the sadness and fear that come with pondering what will happen when we die. All this great life we know, the smells, sounds, colors, love, happiness, achievements, family, whatever will stop, the comfort of our consciousness and ourselves will be gone, and we don't know what to expect afterward. Dead Awaiting is a blend of the fear of the unknown and the spirit that mark you in this life. The afterlife is a big unknown, even for people like me who constantly peek our heads behind the curtain. If you hear bark in the background, it's the dog. Seriously? I don't ascribe any supernatural meaning to these two singers dying on my birthday, but it is weird that I've been drawn to them and connect with these two songs on a deeper level than any other music out there. Sometimes I'll go on YouTube and watch the live unplugged performances of these songs, and it really connects me to the pain they were going through. Cobain and Stanley were two of the most creative people ever with minds that never shut down. I like to think of myself as a creative person, and like theirs, my mind never stops. I can go out and film for a week, but when I come home, depending on how bad the lockdown hangover is, I can be on my phone and computer. I'm gonna leave him outside or somewhere. Come on. I know you're just gonna do that, so I'm gonna just leave them out there. I could be on my phone and computer working hard on the next episode before I even unpack my bags. The creativity never turns off, and I feel that if I don't get on a computer and write down what I'm thinking, then I'll go crazy. I've never been able to sit still, and I think Cobain and Stanley were the same way. But they were also haunted in a way. They had everything: fame, friends, money, attention, people at their beck and call, but it was just noise that added to the overpowering capacity in their heads and destroyed them in the end. For some creative types, the added attention makes things worse instead of better. They simply can't handle it. Cobain and Staley both killed themselves to end their pain. I worry about that sometimes, especially when I look at how reclusive I become. I used to enjoy being around people, but more and more I just want to be left alone and have the freedom to do my job without so many instructions. Don't be alarmed. I'm not suicidal, but I see myself exhibiting some of the same behavior patterns that they did at times. One of the great things about being an artist is that you can leave behind a legacy and continue to influence people long after you're gone. Your voice or your art lives on and delivers a powerful message. To this day, Where Did You Sleep Last Night has 22 million views and counting on YouTube. I hope that people find meaning in my work and in episodes of Ghost Adventures long after I'm gone. I hope that the show helps someone get over their fear of the paranormal and teaches someone to make contact with a loved one. Maybe an episode of Ghost Adventures will open the mind of a child to the possibilities of what could be waiting for us when we die, and inspire him or her to get into the field and make a breakthrough in paranormal communication. And maybe that episode will air on April 5th. So we're gonna read another chapter. This chapter is on page 170, and this chapter is chapter 22. And this chapter is called Ouija Boards. It takes two to tango. Ouija boards are old. Since before the turn of the 20th century, they've been used to conjure up spirits in the comforts of homes, which makes the Ouija board the oldest piece of paranormal investigative equipment around, and easily the most social. You don't need a haunted location, a professional paranormal investigator, or any special equipment. Just grab a friend, light some candles, put your hands on the board, and start freaking out. But Ouija boards have a reputation for being a paranormal trick, a reputation that's probably deserved because they're cheesy and cheap. However, I've seen amazing things happen while people were using them. So should you believe the hype? Stay tuned. I've investigated cases where Ouija boards were used to conjure up a demon named, I'm not going to say the name, but it starts with a Z, but that's all I'm going to say. The legend is that this inhuman spirit is attached to all Ouija boards and attacks people who use them. During these cases, I worked with Robert Murch, the world's leading expert on Ouija boards, and a man named Darren Evans, who has probably done more research on this inhuman spirit than anyone else in the world. In the end, I came away more of a believer in Ouija boards than skeptic. Surprised I was too. The basic concept of a Ouija board is simple. Two people place their hands on a plastic planchette over a board covered in letters, numbers, words, and symbols, and ask spirits to join them. The participants open themselves up and ask questions of the spirits, who use the available energy to move the planchette and provide answers. Since its invention, skeptics have called the Ouija board fake and claim that it's an indomitable response or a voluntary movement by the human participants rather than real communication with spirits. My theory is that the Ouija board allows us to tap into a part of ourselves that we still don't understand. This world is complicated and mysterious, and if scientists can't tell us how the energies and consciousness within their own bodies work, then how can they tell us that our subconscious is moving a planchette while we're awake? Can some of the planchette movement be caused by an undemotor response? Sure, but that response is a subconscious event. Even there's evidence that suggests spirits connections take place in the subconscious. So it could be that a spirit is using the person's subconscious to move the planchette, and we just call it an intermotor response because we have a need to explain everything. We don't fully know how our brains work yet, but there's definitely more that we don't know than we do know. We don't use 100% of our brains, so there's portions that's vertically untapped and just waiting for the right moment to be activated. I believe that part of the brain can help us do great things, and maybe it can be assessed by using a Ouija board. I know that using one can open up a portal and call upon spirits because I've seen it happen. The thing about a Ouija board is that you need two people to make it work. With both people focusing their energies on the planchette, a Ouija board forces you to concentrate on a single point. I believe that when two people are doing that in harmony and you ask a spirit to speak, you're opening up a new part of your mind and body. You're exercising and strengthening your mind to open up to an interaction with a ghost. I believe that a lot of mysteries within ourselves can be uncovered during a Ouija board session. You're constantly asking your partner if he moved the planchette and he's thinking you did it. But the whole time it's really energy from a part of your body that you never use that is contracting a nearby spirit. The average person who doesn't have a constant spirit attachment might be afraid or nervous, which can affect the outcome. But when two people believe in something strongly enough, then it becomes emotional, and emotions can unlock connections to spirits and invite them into our lives through the Ouija board. Some people say that there's no difference between a Ouija board and a K2 meter or a digital recorder that's used to capture EVPs, but that's BS, and I'll tell you why. When you use a K2 meter, a digital recorder, you're just asking a question. You're not as focused as two people concentrating on a single point would be. And you're not tapping into the natural energies of two people to get a spirit to come through, and they do. Not everyone is a paranormal investigator, but it's easy to have a paranormal encounter with the Ouija board because you and your partner are contributing different energies. It's a memorable experience, but it has a dark side that everyone should be aware of. In a case we investigated in Oklahoma, a man had used a Ouija board and conjured up the Z bad spirit. Those who called upon this bad spirit frequently see the planchette on the Ouija board go back and forth between the letter Z and letter O over and over again, spelling out the spirit's name. Has been known to attack and sexually assault people when summoned, and I believe he waits for people to get their minds and focus into the red zone on the emotional level before he comes through. There have been numerous credible. These things are more dangerous than you think. This is a picture of Zach, and he has one in his hand there, for example. Cases of this inhuman spirit coming through Ouija board sessions, so it's more than a myth to me. This spirit could be the spirit of a man named Walter Kenworth, a palm reader in the early 20th century, who claimed that he stole people's souls through his readings. Kenworth published books on how he used his psychic powers to steal souls and money. So there's a theory that Kenilworth is this spirit and comes through Ouija boards to attack people. Darren Evans is one of those people. He has not only summoned the spirit, but many also have a personal connection to it. Darren has done a lot of research on the spirit, and the spirit actually came through during a Ouija board session. The spirit picked up Darren's daughter and threw her down the stairs, which obviously hurt her and scared him. After spending time with Darren, I believe that the spirit is part of him, but he doesn't know it. We went to Darren's house to film an episode of Ghost Adventures, and we had some bizarre experiences there. Our tech, Jay Wasley, was with us during this session. Jay also has connections to this spirit and was almost killed by it once. During an earlier Ouija board session, a friend of Jay's was overcome by the demonic spirit and suddenly jumped on top of Jay and tried to stab him. To this day, the Ouija board makes Jay uncomfortable, but we convinced him to take another stab at it for this episode and participate in a session with Darren. Of course, crazy things happened, and I'm convinced that the spirit came through. The session we did in Oklahoma was with a group of people who know the Ouija board well. We've all had experiences with it and are deep into the paranormal, with his stories of attachments and sensitive abilities. In addition to that, we were in a house that had a lot of paranormal residue from Darren's previous sessions, so there was quite a bit of paranormal energy there, and I believe our spirit attachments fought with each other for control when we were trying to contact this spirit. At one point, Darren's wife left the house and came back with her pants unbuttoned and belt undone, saying that the spirit had sexually attacked her. We also caught a lot of noises and other evidence during the session that remain unexplained. Whatever the truth is, my eyes have been opened to the dangers of the Ouija boards. The weird thing is that you can buy them at Toys R Us Is there more to this company that we don't know? I'd love to talk to them and see if they realize the harm these boards can cause. We won't send a kid into space, but we will give him a portal to another dimension and invite a demon in. It makes me wonder if Walter Kenilworth's descendants are shareholders and the whole thing is just a big ploy to make money. It wouldn't surprise me. So that's it for today. And if you want to see videos like this, then like and subscribe and comment in the comments below. And until next time, everybody, sweet nightmares, or should I say sweet dreams, and good night. Well, everybody, till next time, see you later.